ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaskar, my dear friends. I am going to make this video on teachings of Annamalai Swami, a direct disciple of Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi. I start the video. Annamalai Swami was born in 1906 and took Mahasamadhi in 1995 at the age of 89. Since his childhood had a natural inclination towards spirituality, he came to Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi in 1928 and got a job with the ashram. After being closely involved in many construction projects for 10 years under direct supervision of Sri Ramana, he shifted to Palakotu near the ashram to live alone and meditate. In 1928, a wandering sadhu gave me a copy of Upadesa Undiyar by Sri Ramana. It contained a photo of the Maharshi. As soon as I saw the photo, I had the feeling that this was my Guru. Simultaneously, an intense desire arose within me to go and see him. That night I had a dream in which I saw the Maharshi walking from the lower slopes of the hill towards the ashram. Next morning I decided to go and have his darshan. Having arrived at about 1 p.m. when I approached the hall, a part of the dream I had repeated itself in my real life. I saw Bhagavan walk down the hill as I had seen in the dream. When I sat down and Bhagavan gazed at me in silence for about 10 to 15 minutes, I had a great feeling of physical relief and relaxation. It was like immersing myself in a cool pool after being in the hot sun. I asked for permission to stay, which was granted, and I got a job as Bhagwan's attendant. At that time, Annamalai Swami was doing the job by himself. About 10 days after my arrival, I asked Bhagwan how I could attain self-realization. He replied, if you give up identifying with the body and meditate on the self, you can attain self-realization. As I was pondering over these remarks, Bhagwan surprised me by saying, I was waiting for you. I was wondering when you would come as a newcomer. I was too afraid to ask him how he knew or how long he had been waiting. But I was delighted to hear him speak like this, because it seemed to indicate that it was my destiny to stay with him. A few days later, I asked, scientists have invented and produced the aircraft which can travel at great speeds in the sky. Why do you not give us a spiritual aircraft in which we can quickly and easily cross over the sea of samsara? Bhagavan replied, the path of self-enquiry is the aircraft you need. It is direct, fast and easy to use. You are already traveling very quickly towards realization. It is only because of your mind that it seems that there is no movement. In the years that followed, I had many spiritual talks with Bhagwan, but his basic message never changed. It was always do self-enquiry, stop identifying with the body, and try to be aware of the self, which is your real nature. When I first came to the ashram, there were still some leopards in the area. They rarely came into the ashram, but at night they frequented the place where Bhagwan used to urinate. Once when a leopard appeared, he was not in the least afraid. He just looked at the leopard and said, Poda, go away, and the leopard walked away. Soon after I came, I was given a new name by Bhagwan. My original name was Sela Perumal. One day Bhagwan mentioned that I reminded him of Annamalai Swami, who had been his attendant at the Sakanda Ashram, and within a few days my new identity got established. When I had been an attendant for about 2 weeks, the collector of Vellore who came for Bhagwan's darshan brought a large plate of sweets which I was to distribute to everyone in the ashram. While I was distributing the sweets outside the hall, I went to a place where no one could see me and secretly helped myself to about double the quantity that I was serving to others. When I went back to the hall and kept the empty plate under Bhagwan's sofa, he looked at me and said, Did you take twice as much as everyone else? I was shocked because I was sure that no one had seen me do it. This incident made me realize that it was impossible to hide anything from Bhagavan. After serving as an attendant for a month, Bhagavan asked me to supervise construction work within the ashram. My big assignment was supervising the construction of the cow shed. The problem was of funds which came almost under miraculous circumstances. The editor of the Sunday Times Madras published a long complimentary article about Bhagwan after he had his darshan. This article came to the attention of a prince in North India who was much impressed by Bhagwan. Sometime later, the prince went to a tiger hunt. He managed to track down the tiger, but when he raised his rifle to shoot, he felt paralyzed by a wave of fear. Suddenly, he remembered about Bhagwan and prayed, saying, If successful, I will not only send you rupees 1,000, but also donate the head and skin of the tiger. The paralysis left him and he killed the tiger and saved his own life in the process as the tiger was within attacking distance. 2 days after all the quarrels about the size of the cow shed, the postman appeared with rupees 1,000. Our finances were always in a precarious position, but we never experienced any real finance crisis. While the work was going on, enough donations would come to cover all costs. Bhagwan took a keen interest in the construction of work, guiding me at all stages of the work. In the evening, when I went to him with my daily report, he would tell me the work to be done the following day. For any difficult job, he would even explain how to go about it. In the 1930s, Bhagwan alone decided when and where the buildings would be built, on what scale and what material be used. He drew up the plans for ashram buildings and told me what to do. If instructions were complicated, he would sometimes sketch a few lines on a piece of paper to clarify or illustrate what he was saying. When he gave me plans, he would always say that it was only a suggestion. He never presumed to give me orders. Bhagwan himself wrote in Tamil Paksalai in big letters on a piece of paper. These, along with the year 1938 and Sri Ramana in Devanagari script, appear today on the top of the eastern wall of the dining hall. Bhagwan would frequently come out to see what we were doing. He bombarded us with advice and instructions and would occasionally join in the work himself. But he would say, I am not connected with any of the activities here. I just witness all that happens. We would start projects when no money was available to pay, happily ignoring all predictions of imminent financial doom made by the Sarvadhikari. Bhagwan never asked anyone for money and he forbade the Sarvadhikari for asking for donations. Yet somehow enough donations came to complete every building. Once when Bhagwan was very sick, Morris Friedman gave rupees 1000 to the Sarvadhikari for buying fruits for Bhagwan, knowing that Bhagwan would not eat fruits unless everyone else was given an equal share. He avoided use of the money for the purpose. Some months later, Friedman complained to Bhagwan that his donation had not been properly spent. Bhagwan said rather angrily, when you give something, you should regard the matter as closed. Why use this gift to further your ego? Annamalai Swami moved to Palakotu, a colony abutting the ashram, in 1938 till the end of his life. In 1995, he lived peacefully and silently in his little ashram. He also provided spiritual guidance to seekers who wanted his help and guidance. Sri Annamalai Swami's diary entry dated June 4, 1939. On 4th June 1939, I found in Arunachalam a beautiful Arunachalam, that is Sri Ramanagiri. I decided that to circumambulate this Ramanagiri alone shall confer me liberation. Hence I am circumambulating this Ramanagiri from this night. There is a Pradakshina route for this as a royal path around Sri Ramanashramam. Those who have understood the inner purport of this Ramanagiri alone can understand the inner purport of Arunachala. What is special about this Ramanagiri? Here Bhagwan Ramana is giving silent Upadesa as Sri Dakshinamurti. Mother Ajagama, the power of grace, is having her temple as Sri Matru Bhuteswara. Jnana Ganga is always They are swelling. The goddess of wealth is dancing. Saraswati is singing Ramana Gitam. The crowds of holy cows are happily standing. The Brahmins are chanting Vedas. Anna Lakshmi, goddess of food, is taking care of all the devotees. The visiting devotees always call other devotees to come here. Siddhas are in the guise of servants and help you in everything. The Gyanis welcome you. The gods of silence prostrate his flower-like feet. The crowds of Rajas come and prostrate before this great Brahman, Sri Ramana Bhagavan, who is all these, is shining in all glory at the summit of the hill. There are people who are night blind, they do not know this Ramanagiri. They talk ill about him and eat the dust and die. Oh, oh, what to do? Oh, Ramanagiri, please open the eyes of these night blind. I seek only your eyes of grace. Like Vinayaka got the fruit of mango by circumambulating Shiva Parvati, I am circumambulating this Ramanagiri every night and get the mango fruit. People like me are sure to get this fruit of grace. If they do like me, this is the truth. Arunachala Shiva. Entry 18th January 1939 from Sri Annamalai Swami's diary. On this morning when Sri Bhagavan went for a stroll to the hill, I also accompanied him. He had on the finger of his left hand and also on the finger of his right leg some plasters. I asked him, Swami, has some knife cut you? Sri Bhagavan answered with a smile, no, only my hand went to the knife and my leg went to the stone. I laughed. On some day I asked Bhagavan, I am getting stomach pain often, hoping that he would prescribe some medicine. Bhagavan replied, what to do? This body is itself a big disease. One has to be still to cure this. All other diseases will then just go. You are telling me to whom call I tell my disease. Source Sri Ramana Nena Vogal Tamiz Sri Annamalai Swami Ashramam Palakotu 1995 Arunachala Shiva. Sri Annamalai Swami diary entry date not known. Once I asked Sri Bhagavan, some people, though they are close to you and do a lot of service, are going in the wrong path. Why? Sri Bhagavan said, what to do? Jaya and Vijaya were the guardian angels of Sri Vishnu in Vaikuntha. Have they not, due to their ego, spoiled themselves and taken birth as a Hiranya and Hiranyashaka? Source Sri Ramana Nina Vogal Tamiz Sri Annamalai Swami Ashram Palakotu 1995. Diary entry of Sri Annamalai Swami. January 3rd, 1939, one devotee asked Sri Bhagavan, since I do have a lot of other work, I am forgetting to do meditation often. If I forget like this, how can I progress? Sri Bhagavan replied, it does not matter. Jnanam will not be achieved on a single day. The sanskaras will leave you only in course of time. Today at 4 a.m. we think that we have not done meditation. Tomorrow at 3:30 a.m. the memory will come. On the third day we will get interest in meditation at 3 a.m. Why do you think that? You have not done the meditation, or why do you think that you have done work and forgot the meditation? If you leave the thoughts that I have done or I have not done, then all acts will end as meditation. Then one can never leave meditation. Meditation also will not leave us. This perennial state of meditation is Sahaja Samadhi. The same devotee asked a second question: could I have done enough punya merits in my previous birth? Sri Bhagavan's reply: Ah, if punyas had not been there, will such thoughts arise? Arunachala Shiva. From Annamalai Swami's diary entry, November 7, 1938, when I went with Sri Bhagavan to the hill for a stroll, I asked him how to avoid sleep while doing meditation. Sri Bhagavan's reply: those who are meditating regularly should not do heavy physical work. There should not be too heavy eating and filling the stomach full. If the stomach is totally empty, then too it will be difficult. The strings of veena should not be tightened too much. The strings should also not be loosened too much. The body should also be kept like that. Sleep is also to be regulated in the same way. Divide the night time into three portions. One should sleep only for the 1/3 of the night. That is, one can go to sleep by 10 a.m. and wake up at 2 a.m. One should never sleep during daytime. There is another method also. As you feel sleepy, you should go to sleep. As wakefulness comes, one should wake up. Never think that I have woken up or I have slept. He then quoted the following song from Devi Kalotram, verse number 33. Due to sleep and due to thoughts, the mind always loses its sharpness. Its foolishness increases and it goes to ruin. Awakening the mind with effort and without allowing it to wander, establishing it in the state and again in its nature, in the state of self, persevere in this effort by fixing the mind again and again in its natural state. F source: Sri Ramana Nina Bugal Tamiz, Sri Annamalai Swami Ashramam Palakotu, 1995. Arunachala Shiva. From Annamalai Swami's diary. January 26, 1939. Some devotees asked Sri Bhagavan: a jnani confers anugrah only for some and towards some others. He gets angry. Why? Cannot a jnani set right everyone in life? What then is the work of a jnani? Sri Bhagavan said: that is because the sadhakas are of different levels of maturity and they carry different baggages of prarabdha karma. He then quoted the following verse from Kaivalyanavanitam. Disciple: O Master, who are bliss incarnate, how is it that God, who is impartial, advances a few and degrades others? Master: he is like the father who encourages his sons who are in the right way and frowns on the other sons are in the wrong way. Know it to be mercy to punish the erring and turn them to be righteous. 2.61. O son, whose fetters of worldly life are broken, the celestial tree, fire and water protect those who seek them by fulfilling their desire, keeping them warm and quenching their thirst. So also Ishvara is kind to his devotees and not to others, and not so to others. Now think well and judge whose fault it is. 2.50. Master, my son, the jivas are unlimited in number. capacity and kind, and their actions also are similarly unlimited. In three sections, the beneficent Vedas prescribed according to the aptitudes of seekers, with preliminary views succeeded by final conclusions like flowers followed by fruits. 2.59. Those fools had for disaster who, in their ignorance, attribute to God and six evils which are of their own making, but the wise will gain untainted deliverance who recognize the same evils to be of their own making and not God's. 2.35. My good boy, hear me further. The activities of the sage are solely for the uplift of the world. He does not stand to lose or gain anything. The Almighty, who is only the stone of grace for the world, is not affected by the merit of demerits. Source Sri Ramana Nina Tamil Sri Annamalai Swami Ashramam Palakotu 1995 Kerala Navanitam Arunachalasha. Entry dated 8th February 1939 from Sri Annamalai Swami's diary. Source Sri Ramana Nina Tamil Sri Annamalai Swami Ashramam Palakotu 1995. I asked Sri Bhagwan, if a man attains Jnanam, it is said that there is none of three karmas for him. You have said, but Kevala Navanitam says Jnani will experience the prarabdha karma. Why is it so? Sri Bhagwan said, since prarabdha has been levied even before a man attains Jnanam, it is said so. But this experience of prarabdha by a Jnani appears so due to following examples. A. If an arrow is sent from the bow thinking that there is a tiger and there is only a cow, still the cow gets injured by the arrow though the hunter feels sorry for it. B. The electric fan, even after it is switched off, revolves for some time. C. The burnt rope continues to appear as rope though it is no longer useful for tying others. B. Even the tree that has been cut off appears as a green live tree, but it is not so. D. Even the tree that has been cut off appears as a green live tree, but it is not so. E. The fried grains are also grains, but these are not useful for sowing. As given in the 5 examples, there is a prarabdha for a jnani too. But this prarabdha is not there in the outlook of a jnani. It is there only from the outlook of witnesses, and they feel that jnani is also experiencing prarabdha. Arunachala Shiva. Entry dated August 8, 1939 from Sri Annamalai Swami's Ramana Nina Vogal, Sri Annamalai Swami's Ashramam Palakotu 1995. Questions and answers for a spiritually mature American lady. Question: what is the tattvam, goal that I should attain? She was full of meek surrender while questioning Sri Bhagavan, what we should attain and what is loved by everyone, only the endless Sukham, bliss. We are searching for it through different ways, but it is not to be attained anew. This Sukham is always our experience, and it is our true nature, and it is nothing but the experience of I. This is within us only. We are experiencing it always due to ignorance. We are all searching for it outside and without rest we are running here and there. It is like someone telling that he has no tongue. How can a tongueless person say that he has no tongue? Question. Why then there are different ways and means? Sri Bhagwan, all the implements, ways and means are only to leave the thought. Leaving the Savarupam within, thinking that I am the body is the first thought, and that is a Maya's first salvo, Mula Avidya. This single thought spreads as many thousands of thoughts, and these hide your Savarupam since a long time. If these thoughts are removed, the Savrupam, one's own real nature, will shine gloriously. Then there is only Brahmananda and nothing else. Question. Right now, without the thought that I am the body, I am peaceful, is it the true state? Sri Bhagwan, yes, if this Shanti, peace, does not get disturbed after some time, it only means that the thoughts have not left you completely. Question. How these other thoughts be removed? Sri Bhagwan, you do the inquiry as to whom this the thought I am the body, and with the strengthening of this vichara inquiry it shall go. Arunachala Shiva. From the diary of Sri Annamalai Swami, Sri Ramana Nina Vogal. Next day, the American lady had again some doubt. She came to Bhagwan and asked some more questions. Question. How to see the God? What is the way? Sri Bhagwan, where to see the God? First of all, can you see yourself? If you can see yourself, then you can see God too. Can anyone see his own eyes? Just because he cannot see his eyes, can he say that there are no eyes? In the same way, one cannot see God. One cannot fail seeing God also. The way to see the God is only to vanquish the thought that God is different from you. To treat God as someone different is the biggest surprise in the world. There is no surprise equal to this. There is a story in a Chandogya Upanishad. A man in his house is sleeping on a cot with good beddings and comfort. He dreams. In the dream someone comes to him, throws some magic powder on his nose and make him faint. Then the sleeping person is left in a jungle with his eyes and hands tied. This person does not know how to return home. He walks on the stones and thorns and falls into a pit and weeps. One angel came and asked him, "O child, why are you weeping like this? Who are you? Where from you came? What is your name and town?" The person replies his name, town, and the details, and adds that someone came, made him faint through magic powder, tied his eyes and hands, and left him in the jungle. The angel removed his ties and then showed the way to reach his town. He followed the instructions, reached his town, and then his home and entered it. He saw the inner latches of the doors. The doors had not been opened at all. He found himself in the bed. He never went anywhere, nor did he return from the jungle. He realized that all these miseries came because of his deluded intellect. As you see the avasthas of this person in the story, so is the cases of you to see God and where to search for Him, how to attain Him, to brush away the thought that one should see God, to remain in one's own real nature is the real attainment. Arunachala Shiva. Diary entry of Sri Annamalai Swami, date not known, on January 7, 1938, in the night at about 7:30, two English ladies, MME Shupton and MME Batman, spelling, came with their friends and stayed in the ashramam for some days. They, while coming to have darshan of Sri Bhagwan, asked him, Sri Bhagwan also is like us. He eats like us, he speaks like us, he is always taking medicine for toothache. Then what is the difference between Sri Bhagwan and us? We do not know. Sri Bhagwan explained the difference between Gyanis and Agyanis with some story. First story. A small boy asked his mother for giving food before he went to sleep. The mother told the boy, please wait, the rice is being cooked. Before the food was ready, the boy went to sleep. The mother woke up the boy and fed him, saying, see, this is rice and dal, this is rice and rasam, this is rice and buttermilk. The boy took 30 minutes and finished eating. Then he went to sleep again. Everyone in the family knows this. But the boy, after he woke up in the morning, asked his mother, Amma, why did you not give me food last night? Gyani is also like that. Second step, Jnani is like keeping away his mind on some other matter and listening to a discourse. Third, Jnani is like a sleeping person in a moving train. Fourth, two people slept in the same hall. One dreamed that both of them were running around jungles and meadows and suffering. The other slept nicely, but the other one who dreamed thought that the other man also suffered like him in the jungle. This is same as the states of Jnani and Ajnani. Fifth, Swami Rama Tirtha was living on the first floor of his house and was doing japa. Shivoham, Shivoham. At that time, one Ajnani came to him. You jump from this first floor and then I shall understand the truth behind your japa. Swami Rama Tirtha asked that Ajnani, where is up and where is down? In other words, Jnani sees everyone else as Jnani. The Ajnani sees everyone as Ajnani. 6. Where Ajnani is sleeping, the Jnani is keeping awake. Where the Jnani is sleeping, the Ajnani is keeping awake. 7. In a cinema show, the Jnani sees only the screen, the substratum. The Ajnani sees only the names and forms in the cinema. Sri Bhagwan took quite a good time in telling the story. The English ladies listened to him and thanked him and then left. Source Sri Ramana Nina Bugar Tamil Sri Annamalai Swami. Ashramam Pala Kotu 1995 No Arunachala Swami. So my dear friends, here ends this video. This is a very rare video because many Annamalai Swami's diary entries are reproduced in this video. Please like, comment and share the video and subscribe the channel. Thanks a lot. Namaskar my dear friends. Namaste. Namaste. Namaste.